Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tracy Armstrong, owner-operator of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company, the area's premier welcome wagon service, welcoming all the new homeowners and new residents to the ever-growing North Pittsburgh area. Today, we are here with Dr. Dan Turo of Turo Family Chiropractic, located in the North Hills section of the Pittsburgh area. How are you doing today, Dan?
I'm
Dr.
doing
Dan?
wonderful, Tracy. Thank you so much for having me back.
Oh, I love having the Turos on. Today we're going to talk about people saying, I don't feel well. Today we're always talking about, today we're talking about not feeling well. And sometimes, is it okay just not to feel well?
Yeah, and I think the reason I brought this question to light because I just had a gentleman, and it always reminds me, working with patients, like why we talk about the different things, and I talk about this in my book a little bit as well. But he came in the other day, and he was having really significant abdominal pain that just started over the last couple of days. It was over the weekend, and he was even having a little bit of diarrhea with that. Now, knowing this gentleman's history, a lot of toxins in his system, lifetime, smoker, lots of, dietary, toxins, probably poor quality fats. And just knowing this background, and then he had started a course of care. I'm looking at, the infrared thermal scan, which is one way that we measure how the nervous system is adapting. And as we talked about before, Tracy, our nervous system, it controls and coordinates every other function in our body. So I'm looking at his thermal scans and seeing really good improvements on there. But now he's sitting here and telling me, well, I have all this abdominal cramping, I'm having some diarrhea. So, anytime I get that, little red flag goes up, like, okay, what else is going on? But I took him in my consult room, sat down, had a conversation with him, and we both agreed that some of this, cramping that he was having and some of this diarrhea he was having was actually the body's very intelligent response to his nervous system. It was starting to wake up. So it was literally, waking his system up to the point that the body was trying to get rid of these toxins that were really just lying dormant in his system for a period of time. Now, of course, we're monitoring that, and if anything changes, I told him to let me know. So we're always very closely monitoring how patients are adapting. But when we've got technology telling us one thing that, hey, everything's looking really good, but you've got the individual sitting here and telling you, well, I don't feel so good. That's a case where it might be okay just to ride out the not feeling good is actually a very healthy response, to the course of care that you're going through. I always use the very simple example, take someone who's addicted to heroin. Okay. If you take the heroin away, how are they going to feel?
Awful.
They're going to feel awful. Is it healthy to take the heroin away?
Yes.
Bingo. Okay. So, that's a simple example that we use. Sometimes it doesn't feel good as our bodies are going through healing. Okay. Healing can hurt. Okay. But it's good to have the measurements and the tools to have other ways other than just having someone tell you how they feel. So, and the more technologically advanced the healthcare practitioner gets, the easier it is to have that confidence in saying, let's ride this out for a little bit. Let's continue to monitor. But it's okay to not feel good, especially early on as things are changing.
So, is the concept of always being pain-free, is that not realistic?
Yeah, and I've talked to, I talk about this in my office a lot, with individuals and more as a whole. I really, unfortunately, think that our healthcare system has sold us a lie that
Mhm.
we should be pain free all the time. Okay, you shouldn't be in pain in your life, and not just physical pain, but mental, emotional pain, anxiety, depression. You should always feel good, right? And if you're not, pain free or you're not feeling good, they've got a medication for it. And so we've been sold this bill of goods, this
Mhm.
lie in the healthcare system, and whether it was an intentional or not, we've been sold this really misconception that we should always be feeling good. I mean, I know people who as a way to set themselves up to go do physical activity. Let's say they're going to play racquetball or they're going for a really long hike. They're going to pop before prophylactically, they're going to pop, 4 or 5 Advil or, some sort of anti-inflammatory as a precursor because they know they're going to be sore after the fact. And so they're doing it as a prerequisite to do the
Uh-huh.
activity. Well, and I think I've talked about this on your show and other places. Your body, if it's sore, especially after increased activity, there's a reason that it's sore. It's because you used it. If I go to the gym and I work out really hard, especially if I haven't worked out in a while, the body's going to be sore because you're breaking it down, and now it's going to build back stronger. But if you're masking the pain with medication, if you're masking those symptoms, you're really inhibiting your body's ability to express health at its optimal level.
Amazing. And when you mention masking pain, are you talking about medications or are there other options out there? I myself realize there are other options out there. I suffer from terrible anxiety and I haven't taken medication for 23 years because I combat my anxiety through daily working out.
Mhm.
Are there other ways that other options than medications?
Well, and I think that's the important question. I always ask Tracy the very straightforward question of, is what I am about to do, is it going to move my body towards an ultimate or an optimal level of health and healing? Or is it going to move me down the path more towards an illness, disease, and ultimately death in the most severe circumstance? But am I going to enhance my body, with optimal state of health and healing, or am I going to move down that path towards disease and illness? So that really is the question that I go back to. You exercising, it's not that you're exercising to control your anxiety. You're
No.
exercising because it helps you live at a healthier state. Now,
Mhm.
because you're doing that, you have less anxiety.
Yes.
But a lot of people, again, and again, I don't blame the individual because they've been told, like, hey, take an anti-anxiety medication, take an antidepressive medication. And there are times when those things are necessary.
Oh, yeah,
But
definitely.
the idea that that is the long-term solution, that's where I think we run into challenge, because every medication has side effects. The body
Yes.
always treats medication as toxic to the body. It's always going to try and
Mhm.
filter it out. So again, using a simple example, if I take a person who is optimally healthy, functioning at the top end of the spectrum, and I give them a handful of medications, is their body going to get stronger or is it going to get weaker? Well, it has to get weaker because those
Yep.
medications are toxic to the body.
Yep. So a quick fix doesn't really align with long-term health, correct?
Never.
No.
It never
Well, I
does.
agree with you.
It never does. Yeah, and I think that again, and I mentioned this, in other talks with you. We live in a society; it's instant gratification, right? We want it done. We want it done yesterday. We want to be healthy. We want to be healthy yesterday. Unfortunately, most of us don't want to do what it takes to be congruent with health and well-being. We want the easy way out. Health is natural. We are all designed to heal and be healthy, but that has to be in congruence with the right ingredients, with the right environment. You can't turn on a certain news state. You can't turn on the any mainstream media and expect to have good, positive mental emotional health, because all it is negative, negative, negative. Okay, you can you can't over inundate yourself with coffee, with donuts, with
Mm.
fried foods and fast foods. Can you have those things now and again? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love to celebrate. I love food, and I love a lot of different kinds of food. It's okay to celebrate. It's the fact that we get ourselves into routines that set ourselves up to block our natural healing ability. But when you recognize those and you give the body what it needs and you take away what it doesn't need, what's detrimental to it, now we're able to move towards a state of healing the way we're designed.
Fabulous. Well, Dr. Dan, thank you again for taking your time out of your day to talk to us today about how healthy it is to stay, on top of your game, on top of your health, and just have a clear, more organic way to live your life. Again, Dr. Dan Turo of Turo Family Chiropractic, located in the lovely North Hills section of Pittsburgh. It's been a pleasure. And again, everybody, thank you for watching today. This is Tracy Armstrong, owner operator of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company, the key to making the first impression. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks.